Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome to a Thursday episode of 5 Minutes with Phil. So glad that you've chosen to join us here today, and we thank the Lord for you that we can unpack God's Word together. I want to remind you, by the way, that our church has a YouTube channel that we are pretty happy with, and we're happy with it because we can bless a lot of people with it. And so if you just subscribe or ring the little bell, you can stay in contact with us, and every time that we upload something new, like our live streams, our services, music, clips from our sermons, our Bible studies, a lot of content on there. If we could bless you with our content, that's an enormous win for us. So thanks for giving us that opportunity. Okay, now let's jump into God's Word for today. We are in John chapter 14. Jesus is speaking to his disciples, and his disciples are a little bit stressed out because Jesus is talking about leaving them, and they don't like that. And so there's a lot of emotions that are going on amongst the disciples there, and they're full of anxiety, they're a little stressed out, and Jesus takes the time to give them a little bit of peace. In fact, that's how he starts this verse. Take a look at this. John chapter 14, beginning in verse 27. It says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." Now, there's a key verse in there, or part of that verse, sorry. There's a key phrase in that verse that I really want to camp out on. And that's when Jesus says, "I do not give peace to you as the world gives it." I think a lot of times people are guilty of trying to find peace, but they do so in the wrong place. They try to find peace, they try to find assurance, they try to find calm, happiness, whatever the case, and they try to look to the wrong source. And some of you might be thinking, "Oh, he must be talking about drugs and alcohol and things like that." And sure, that would include that, okay? But that's not all. In fact, the more subtle, cheap imitations of peace are often found in things that on the surface seem very, very good. But if we look to those things for our source of peace rather than Jesus, then that's where the problem is. For example, students, those of you who might be trying to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, okay? If you think that your ultimate source of peace is going to be in that, okay, and nothing wrong with having a girlfriend or a boyfriend as long as they know Christ, and you do too. But if you think that is your source of peace and that is your only source of happiness, you're going to be sorely disappointed. And Jesus says, "Look, I'm your source of peace. I am peace." You know, we're entering into the Christmas season. We're going to identify Jesus as the Prince of Peace. And I think the Lord would want to remind everybody who's listening to this, look, I'll give you peace, but it's not how the world gives you peace. So it's not going to be found in how much money you have. It's not going to be found in who's at your side. It's not going to be found in all these other things, these earthly things. I give you peace in only the way that I can give it to you, Jesus would say. And so my peace and my hope and my happiness, it comes from Christ. And as I get closer to Jesus, that doesn't mean that my problems go away. In fact, it really means that when problems come, I could still have peace with Jesus in the midst of all of that. Peace is not the absence of problems. Peace is the dependence on Jesus in the middle of my problems. That's what peace is. And that's what the Lord, I think, would remind us. And so when he tells the disciples, "Don't let your hearts be troubled. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Don't be afraid." Peace comes from Jesus. So my prayer for you today is that you would spend your day, your life, in the peace of God. So I hope that blesses you today. All right, gotta let you go. Thanks for joining me. We love you. We care about you. And Lord willing, we'll talk to you again soon. Okay? Have a good day. Bye-bye.